Hello everyone. Hopefully you can see me. Let's finish connecting to the rest of the streams. Bum, 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 bum. Here you go. Alright. There you go. Yeah. Should be live. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully you can see me and hear me. Alright. So today I'm gonna draw this piranha right here. Um, the day before that, I just drew this iguana, this green iguana, and yeah, here's some of the drawings I've been doing previously. If you this is the first time you see me doing this stuff, and I've been working on fixing my setup as much as I can. Hopefully, uh, I don't run into glitches and stuff. But hello, hi. um, all right. So I I was actually thinking of which one should I draw before I got to this one. Let me zoom out a little bit. So I was thinking of maybe an otter, but this is the best picture I could get, and I just decided to pass on that one. And I also thought of I don't know if you can see that properly there. Uh, I wonder. Give me a second. I shouldn't be doing this midstream, but let's see if I can open with. And if you haven't tried this software, I would definitely recommend it. They have a paid version, but yeah, it's what we used when I was studying visual effects. Oh, a lot of people have joined, or a few people. Hi. Okay. All right. It's called ACDC, and this is a free version. It has worked fine for forever. So it's really cool that you can place it and keep it. You can set it up so it stays on top of everything else that you have on your desktop. So, and it's also really nice to scroll through images. So I was saying that I found a few pictures of the giant anteater as well, but I don't know. I didn't. It didn't click with me, and they don't have the quality I would like. I was trying to get one that it would be like a more of a close-up type deal, but I couldn't get that. So I just went with this one. All right. This is, if I'm not mistaken, this one's from Wikipedia, and you can check the image there and the original creator or photographer rather. So this is what I'm going to be drawing. Oh, I missed one of the streams. Anyway, hopefully they can see me now. Yeah. Okay. All right. 25. Anyway, uh, I've mentioned before, I also have to work on the. I'm not a great spokesperson. I'm usually drawing behind the scenes. Uh, okay, that's odd. You should be able to see me. Yeah, I'm here. Give me a second. Yeah. Okay, I've been using just a basic Sharpie highlighter. Sometimes I use Stabilo. These ones are really good too. If you wanna check them out, they're fairly cheap and they're really cool. They have really nice colors and you can combine it with different things. I was trying to find an easy way to mix techniques that it wouldn't saturate the paper as quickly, and this was a great option. And also the colors, I really like the vibrant colors that it gives. So just a little of a little explanation about the materials I use. All right, to start, what I do, I mentioned this in multiple streams, is kind of frame the drawing in the page. So let's see. Yeah, I have to work on the intro for this stuff. I also have to set up the camera because I film this stuff. I don't know if you can see me right there. Yeah, I think you can. It's fine. It's not about my face. Something like that. I think. Alright. This is way more of a challenge that it might seem. Okay. Oh, yeah, you can sort of see me. It's kind of eating away a part of the frame, but uh, let's see. Something like that might be better. Yeah, I think so. Okay. Anyways, what I usually do is frame it on the page. I mentioned that I leave sort of a an edge or breathing space. I don't know the translation for it, the exact translation. Um, but yeah, some breathing a breathing area, so the drawing doesn't look like it's too close to the page. In this case, I messed up and it's too close to the page. But for example, in this one, you can see that it has some breathing around, with which makes it look more uh, balanced in the page in regards to composition. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense. Feel free to comment if you feel like it. You don't have to, but yeah, let's get to it. I've been talking too much already. All right. So I've been using a pen, which means that I cannot draw. I cannot draw. Well, maybe I cannot draw. I cannot erase anything. Uh, let's see. Yeah. Super dry this thing. Let's see. All right. Yeah. Sometimes you have to unclog the pen, but you also have to be careful because then it's really loose, letting ink into a paper. So I have to keep that in mind. First, I do a light drawing, which allows me to get away with certain things in regards of the drawing. Also, another issue that I faced a lot doing this stuff is that you get some distortion on the drawing. You should always try to keep the drawing towards your face. I don't know if it makes sense. Maybe you can see me on the camera there, but you should always keep it like that towards your eyes. If you change the angle in relationship to your face, I'm going back to the big camera. Like if I'm in this case, I'm in this angle. You can get some distortion on the drawing. So I have one right here that I can show you that I got that. And I notice it after the fact, which is always a pain, really. But like this one, I fixed it as much as I could, but I was looking at it from an angle. I've tried to fix that a little bit, and I tried to compensate by moving the page, but because I have to show you the stuff, didn't expect to the one. Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you for being here. All right, so you get a little bit of distortion uh, if you're not looking at it like directly towards you. So if you wanna improve your drawing, that's definitely a way to do it. If you're drawing a big format, like something greater than something like this. This is A5, so it's half A4. Um, you should always try to keep it facing you as much as possible. The thing is, if it's a small page, if you're doing a sketch, maybe you'll notice it because you're already doing that instinctively. You're putting your face as close to a page as possible and looking at it from different angles. But I've been doing this stuff long enough that I know that I have to consider those things. So, and I still mess up. So keep that in mind if this is the kind of stuff you want to do. Another thing that usually is fairly common is that you flip the page, for example, and look at it, like look at it through light. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see it there. Yeah, so that way you can see the image flipped, which helps you with any mistakes that you have. For example, with the eyes, which is a big one that most people tend to talk about when, oh, I got the eyes wrong. They're in the wrong position. Yeah, that's one of the things that happens. Your eye starts to get used to the details that you're putting on the page or the drawing that you're doing, and you stop seeing any mistakes. So it's a good idea to do that. There's other people that also flip the page and look at it uh, upside down. There's all sorts of stuff people do to uh, help in that regard. They also use like a red filter sometimes, red light filter. Um, you can use like a piece of glass that is red or plastic, and they use that to see certain things. And that hasn't worked for me, but maybe maybe it works for you. I don't know. uh, Hopefully it's helpful for people here. Hi. All right, let's continue. Um, I already talked too much. It's kind of an odd thing to do this sort of thing. Uh, I'm trying to get used to it as much as I can. I'm a huge introvert, so just bear with me. So I might already. No, I think it'll be fine. I thought I messed up, but the my version is gonna be shorter than the one in the picture. I think. Just just ignore it. Don't tell anyone, or tell other people so they can see the stream. Uh, I've been trying to stream every day of the week, Monday to Friday, and it's kind of a new thing still. I'm getting used to it, and yeah, something that helps me feel useful. So, if you have any questions or comments about stuff that you think might be helpful for you about drawing, feel free to ask. Or if you're watching this later on, because I'm adding the streams to my social media, you can probably comment too if you have a particular question, or you can drop a comment in any of my videos and I'll probably answer if I get to see the comment. So yeah, let's see. Uh, yeah, the proportions are not correct, so it's looking more like a goldfish right now. I think. What's that thing that it says Cartas a Venezuela? That's that. This is my deck of cards. I made this deck of cards. Uh, it's a fully illustrated deck of cards that I made. I've been uh, showing it on my socials a lot. And each of the cards, it's a different theme about my country. Uh, some are like different tribes. These are tribes. These are yeah. This is still a tribe and a part of our country. Instruments, traditional instruments, parts of our culture. Wait, you speak Spanish? Yeah, I speak Spanish. Speak Spanish and English. Um, these are. I think this one was spicy serum or something. Yeah, spices. Yeah, this one were spices. Typical foods. So yeah, if you want to check that out, yo también. Yeah. So if you want to check it out, it's on my website. I have still a bunch available. Uh, so yeah, they're not available everywhere. I just have them in different spots. Uh, they're available in Miami, in Caracas, Venezuela, and yeah, around Caracas basically. I have some here with me, but it's not a huge production. It's just I was able to produce a specific batch. Sorry, didn't calls. Gotta go. Yeah, no worries, man. Take care. I'm from Argentina. Yeah, I'm in Argentina. Yeah, I just create content in English. All right. So yeah, this looks way too much like a goldfish. Yeah. Hopefully I can fix it. So something like that. Looks like a fish. Parece un pez. Yeah, a little shark. It's una piraña. You can probably see the reference there. Let's see. I messed up. So it's this guy. Yeah. Okay. Actually, it's kind of hard to see. I think the other like fin, I think it is, goes here. And the head should be like, yeah. So it should be something like that. Yeah. Let's see. If you want to try this sort of stuff for yourself, I would definitely recommend it. It's a it's a good technique to try. Sometimes you mess up, sometimes it works out. I particularly like it, uh, but it's a matter of personal choice. I like the fact that you can end up with something finished once you're done with it. Yeah, piraña. Yeah, I think I already messed up there. The head is too. I measured that wrong. Anyway, change the proportions. And this should be something like that, I guess. Yeah, this one's not particularly going as well as I would like, but bear with me. It's Monday and I'm tired, so all right, should be. I'll see como que. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, tortuga. Yeah, I made one before. Morrocoy is the name. Uh, gracias, gracias. So, let's see. I'm going to add stuff to it because the most cool stuff about piranhas is the teeth. Like, if I don't add that, it's just gonna look like a silly fish. So, that's I've mentioned this in other streams that you should take the reference as a starting point, but build on it after the fact or during the process, because yeah, it's the best way to make it your own thing, and instead of just copying the image exactly, unless that's exactly what you want, which is fine, I guess. So this one's fairly quickly uh, set on the page. It's not my best drawing, I gotta say. But in my defense, this is still just a I would say like the under drawing or something. Still haven't shaded the creature. Okay. All right. Kind of change the angle a little bit so it looks I guess condensed, but yeah, feel free to tell me if you like the result. I know for a fact that sometimes I don't like the drawing. With this stuff you have to be critical of yourself, otherwise, like, how are you supposed to improve? So you have to keep that in mind. You just have to also not let it take over, because perfectionism is something that it's an issue, and imposter syndrome is also an issue when it comes to this sort of thing. So you just have to be confident that you are putting in the work, and yeah, it's like with any sport, you should keep practicing. If you're not getting the results you want when you start, is because you haven't practiced enough, uh, I would say. So there's always room for improvement, no matter the point at which you start. Yeah, I don't know if I said that correctly, but I almost didn't stream today because I was super tired, and I was reconsidering my life choices. But yeah, this is something I enjoy doing, so sometimes you just have to go ahead and do the stuff that maybe is not as comfortable to do. So yeah, fairly simple drawing today. I also wanted to choose something. This is also a little bit of a trick. If you are having a hard time drawing something, pick something fairly simple, and just it gives you a little confidence boost. Oh, I got that right. And you can from that move on to something that is more complicated. Uh, all right. I mentioned this in other streams, but it it's not an issue to mention it here too. Um, about the details, once you're adding details, you don't need to do every single scale unless that's something. Oh, I want to do hyperrealism, so I gotta see each and every scale on the fish. Unless that's something you want to do, I would try to just suggest detail so you can get away with that by just adding some details in the areas that you feel are the most important or kind of the center of interest. So the idea for that is that your brain, after, in this case I'm just adding a few, but if you do this part correctly, your brain kind of completes the details for you. Our brains are always trying to take the easy route when it comes to certain information inputs. So if you're looking at, it doesn't matter what it is, your brain doesn't give you access to everything that you're looking at because it can overwhelm you. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but if you look into it, you can see that yeah, it's actually the case. So we're doing this all the time, 24/7. If you're using your brain and looking around and stuff, you're always ignoring certain information. That stays in the background. You're not keeping every detail of what you saw on your brain. There's some people that have like photographic memory, but the for the most part, we're always reducing the amount of information that we're processing, so that way we can function better. And this is that's the basis for what I'm saying. Like if you suggest the details well, then your brain completes the image. Sometimes you can mess it up, but as part of this stuff, you can not always get it right. Another reason to use a pen, I mentioned this before as well, I'm repeating myself over and over, is that it gives you confidence over time once you're drawing, um, because you cannot erase. I don't have an eraser. You've been looking at me building the image from the get-go and just trusting the process and my eyes and my hand. So I don't know if about these details. I don't know if they convince me, but that's another thing. I'm doing this monologue so you can hear it, but usually when you're drawing, you're doing this same thing, but to yourself. Like you're taking little decisions every time you set something on the page. Like, oh, maybe I'll add a detail here. Maybe this part looks like way too empty, so I'm gonna try to add something to it so it balances, balances, the, the design or the drawing. But yeah, looking at it on the actual recording seems to look better than than what I expected, which is also something that happens. Sometimes you're looking at something from like really close, so you might not be objective about it, and that happens with this sort of thing, and that happens with things in your life as well. So sometimes you just have to take a step back and look at it from afar so you can get a different take on it, if it makes any sense. Dibuja bien. Thank you, thank you. Gracias. Alright. It's kind of funny that they have like eyes that pop out of the head. And you saw that before I added the teeth and some of the detail, it looked like a goldfish. But once you started adding all the other stuff, looks like a mean machine. These things. I know that this is a fun fact. An uncle of mine, he already passed away uh, way years back. They were from an area that was close to this sort of fish, and he actually got a part of his finger bitten by a piranha while uh, fishing. So yeah, they're really vicious. Even if you already like if you already took them out of water and stuff, you have to be careful because the teeth are like super sharp, and they usually go at whatever they catch in groups. So at the same time, it's an interesting creature that something like this actually exists. I can only imagine what it was before, like humans were all around. Imagine something like this fish, but twice or three times the size. That must be scary. They're not very big, and the natives they eat them. So, all right. I think I'm happy with how this looks. I don't know if I'm gonna add some shading to it. Yeah, I'm gonna add some shading. Yeah, just speaking nonsense. The other thing I like about using a pen to draw is that you can uh, sort of do different techniques with it. You can go all the way to like hyper realism if you want. All right. For the most part, I've been using cross hatching. If you've seen some of the other drawings I've done recently, but you can go all the way to hyperrealism. I might demo something like that at some point. I don't know if I will. It's depends on if I feel like it, because it's. Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate it. So, uh, you can cross hatching is what you can see there. That it's just the lines on top of each other. Sometimes you can do just one batch, one direction rather, and then just build on top of that. I like the ones that you do like, let's see if I can, like a small batch, then lay a different batch, and then a different batch. So you're kind of weaving the lines on top of each other, and it allows you to build a shadow of whatever subject you're doing. But you have to be mindful once you're doing this because you can mess it up easy. Um, these are sketches, so that's the other reason why I try to use the cross hatching, because it's fairly easy to do and fast. Let's see, check something here. Hard to tell something here. Hmm. Okay. All right. I was just checking the time to see how long it's been. Usually I stay on for like an hour or so, so I try to keep it within that time frame. I can definitely spend more time on stuff, but just try to keep it at that. This is the most fun part, I think. Like once you start to play around with the shadows and the lighting, thinking where you want to emphasize certain things, certain features. This thing is kind of nightmare fuel. Right. Yeah. I don't know if I'm totally happy with some of the shadows I made, but again, this is just a sketch, so try to. Actually, if I'm doing this for myself, I might take way less time. I don't know. Some of the drawings I've done, I pass already like the 400 mark. Must be like around 450. There's like 5 pages left on this sketch. Um, what was I saying? I lost my train of thought. So I don't know if I like that much the shadows on it, but yeah, I try to do the best I can within the time frame. When I'm drawing for myself, it might take like half an hour to do this stuff. I think I messed up. Oh no. Yeah, I can. It just stopped. My recording stopped. Alright, I don't have. Let's see if I can continue to. Well, yeah, I have to use the video sparingly. Hopefully, I get enough footage for the reel I make. All right. So what I was saying is that I can if I'm doing this for myself, it can take like 15 minutes or 30 minutes depending on how much time I actually want to spend on it and how much detail. If I'm into the drawing, I'm gonna spend more time on it. If I'm like, I'm not that convinced, I might just, I don't know, do a light pass on it. Just, okay, this goes here, this goes there, and just move on. Like, there's no point. That's the other reason why I use a pen. So, like, if I messed up, just just move on. You can draw something else. There's no point of saving something or trying to save something if you can just do a different version quickly and improve upon the previous one. That's the other reason why I prefer drawing on paper. I've also done digital painting. If you look up my website and my work, but yeah, I guess this is what I started with, and it's where I'm most comfortable drawing. So it's a personal choice. It also doesn't lag. It doesn't close on you. You don't have to. Hola, hi. You don't have to fight the program so it doesn't mess up your file. Which, if you work digitally, you can definitely relate to what I'm saying. I don't know who's watching exactly, but if there's anybody that watched this that is a digital artist, they can probably attest to this. Like, I've experienced all sorts of glitches. The program closes and the file gets corrupted, and you lost half a session, and then, well, go go cry somewhere, some corner somewhere or something. Yeah, there's nothing you can do at that point. So it's a common thing. Um, in this case, I have this paper, and unless it, I don't know, I destroy the page, it's just sitting there. I can revisit the drawing, I can scan it, I can use it for a painting. So I don't know. I'm I'm pro sketches. Maybe some people would tell me, "Oh, just buy a." Also, they're really expensive. Like the tablets, they're really cool. I gotta say. I haven't used one, but they seem to be super dope. All right. There's also something that I didn't add to this, but fish. If you look at the scales, they go sort of like in a grid, a small grid. I don't know if it makes sense, but so something like that. And if you stack it correctly on top of each other, it looks really cool because that's the actual way the scales are. You can kind of see it on the reference, maybe on the vertical one. It's harder. Oh, the reference. Sorry, forget that this one works differently. Oh, oh my. Let me go back. Let me go back. There you go. All right. Pa pa pa. So if you see the scales there, you can sort of notice what I'm talking about, this nonsense that I'm talking about, that the scales are sort of on a grid. They grow that way. You can sort of notice it. I didn't do it that way, and I also know for a fact that this is not the proper size that they should be. They're way smaller. This creature has a dense amount of scales, so they're fairly small. I'm just adding this for the sake of suggesting the details. Anyway, okay. I know that I'm going to probably come back to this area, and maybe I'll add some contrast. The other thing that you can do to check if the shadows are right on the drawing that you're doing is that you can squint. Uh, that way you can sort of see if the shadows align, the light aligns to what you're putting on the page. This is an interpretation, so it's not a direct translation of what you can see, but you can use it sort of as a starting point. And the cool thing is that you can translate it. It doesn't matter if this is like if you modify the anatomy or it's you make it more cartoony. You can still apply the same shadows. You just move them around accordingly. So I'm going to add some like cuts to it just to make it seem like they actually do like fight each other sometimes. So add some character to the fish. The other thing about this is that they're actually cannibals. Uh, so if they sense some defect on another piranha, they all go and eat the one that is messed up, which is messed up. But yeah, thank you, gracias. Okay, all right. I realize that I talk too much, but yeah, I'm the only one here, so here in the studio. Thank you for for joining into uh, the studio, like like I'm in a studio. Well, technically it's a studio, but it's just a home studio. Eh, yeah, I could spend hours working on the shadows, but yeah, I also need to rest. So let's see. I'm going to change the light. Hopefully, I can film this part. I'll mess it up. Just going to try to get a little shot of me doing like something like that. Yeah, this might not make any sense to you, but it does to me. I'm trying to also film this so I can do the reel for it. Just gonna change the light. Pow, 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 pow. All right, and hopefully this thing works. Now I'm gonna use this guy, and hopefully I don't mess it up. You can also use the reference. Yeah, I noticed something that I messed up too. Ah, anyway, I'll see if I can. You can use the reference for this sort of thing. Of course, this is not even related to the lighting setup that I have on the image. Lighting setup, the way the picture, the reference works. So, but you can translate it to this, my drawing in this case. And this is related to what I was saying of making the reference your own thing. Like you take what you're looking at and then you add your own point of view to it, or your own uh, seasoning to the cooking. So to me, this is the most fun part. And because I added that, I'm gonna also, you see that on the top of the fish there's some bouncing light on the scales. Well, I'm gonna use that in my favor. Hopefully it doesn't look bad. You just have to be subtle with it, not overdo it. If you overdo it, you can mess up, which I'm not uh, unfamiliar with. You see what I added there on the face? I think that doesn't look as well as good. But sometimes it's just about keeping your eye on the target. And this is my own take on the reference, so, and it's my own sketch. And other than you guys that are watching my stream, um, it's just between us. So, meh. There's a lot of bounce light on this. If you see the whole top of the fish uh, has light on it. So how do I add that to the drawing that I'm doing? Well, this is what I'm trying to do right now. Remember what I said about overdoing it? I think I'm overdoing it, but you have to kind of balance it as you go because I don't have an eraser. It's not part of this uh, type of drawing. I cannot control Z. So I'm taking what is on the reference already and just trying to translate it to what I have on my sketch as good as I can. And in this case, let's see, I already added that. That would be kind of the light. Let's see if I don't know if I want to use this guy. Where's the other one? Uh, I'm missing a marker. Nah. Oh no, here it is. What I'm saying. I'm just tired. Okay. When in doubt, I can always use this markers, which overpower the drawing, the shading, I guess. But if you want contrast fast, you can add it with this. If I'm not talking that much, it's because to try and not mess up, I can sometimes hold my breath while doing this. So see, I messed up there. Anyway, another thing is you can try to make a mistake part of your design. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but that also comes with experience. Like not lose it if you mess up doing something. You can just keep going and weave it to what you were already doing. Also, you might think that, oh, this is just a like that's super extreme to add like a Sharpie marker, but you'll be surprised at how much you can play with the marker. Especially this one is kind of dying, which makes it, I would say, better for for the job because you can kind of shade, like you can get away with doing that and it doesn't go straight to like full on darkness, so you can shade a little bit. I don't know if it makes sense. You can definitely see it. Mm, and I can this area. Yeah, I don't know if I want to go overboard there. I just gonna have to do it with the pen. It just keeps stopping. What the hell? Oh, I just run into. Okay, I'm out of memory. My phone is full completely. Viva arte. Hola, boa noite. Hey, hello. All right. Hopefully I can fix this with the pen. Well, fix. And I'm just trying to balance out the shading so it doesn't look as light. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense. I'm I'm tired. It's late, and uh, I'm just trying to do the best I can here. All right. So you can see on the reference that the lower part of the fish is dark in general. If you squint your eyes looking at the image, you can see what I'm saying. Even though it has those reds, still, even still, with it seems like there's a few lights here. There's one that it's on top of the fish, and there's one that kind of is facing, probably from who took the picture or from the room where the picture was taken from. It's subtle, but you can see it. You can actually see kind of a, I don't know, like a box, something that is creating shade on it on the fish, unless that's part of the actual fish color, which I don't think it is. Might be wrong, but I don't think I am in that case. Just to keep it simple, I might just ignore that and just make the lower part of the fish darker because it has multiple lights. And yeah, I just see, this is the part where it's the make it or break it point, because if you go too over the top, you can it can look awful. So you have to make choices that don't affect the final result as drastically. So I'm trying to darken areas where I can see, oh, this is definitely in shadow, or at least it should be darker. Sorry if you saw, if you heard a spike there on my voice. I just hit the mic for a second there, unintentionally. Okay. And it's kind of hard to notice, but there's some uh, I forgot the name. uh, Subsurface scattering. that you can see on this fin I think it is, this part that I'm working on, because the light that's kind of translucent, so you can see part of the light coming through there. Yeah, today's word is subsurface scattering. I guess it's multiple words, but yeah, look that up. It's pretty cool. If you already know what it is, yeah, you probably an artist or some nerd like me. Yeah, I think it needs some more pizzazz. Let's add some more pizzazz. And though this is not on the picture, just making a decision there. Same goes for this part. Because I'm looking at it on the stream and it looks way lighter than what I would like. So that's also something that I recommend you do if when you're working on something of your own. Always check, double check, triple check the drawing under different light circumstances and perspectives and angles, and I mentioned this earlier on the stream, because your eye gets adjusted to what you're doing and you just, oh, I'm doing great, and you look at it from afar, oh, I this is horrible. So it's always important to keep yourself in check with this sort of thing. So I'm trying to add contrast to this. Huh. Well, this doesn't make any sense. Come on. This is not true. Just decided randomly to end my life. This doesn't, no sound detected. What? Come on. Why are you cutting my stream? All right. That's back. Okay. It just decided to cut off and it for no reason. Anyway, uh yeah, that's what I've been doing, and uh, all right. Bum, 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 bum. That's the other thing, that if you start doing this stuff. Hi. Okay. can sometimes lose focus of what you're doing, especially like with this thing. I'm doing multiple things. I'm reading your comments. I'm trying to look at the reference and also talk while I paint or sketch. So, alright. I think this is looking good for me. I, I like the way this looks already. Hi, hi, hi. Okay, so something like that. Okay, yeah, fairly happy with how this looks. I'm just gonna go ahead and sign it. There you go. If you join the stream, thank you for being here. And if you watch part of it, or if you're watching this in the future, once I upload this to my social media, I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Hope to see you on the next stream, which I'm trying to do every day around the same time, 8 p.m., 9 p.m., sort of. It goes for around an hour, and I try to do a sketch. I've done a bunch, and you can see it if you look at my socials. Um, you can ask questions. Uh, Thank you. You can ask questions and just let me know if there's something that you would like for me to tackle about the stuff I do, or maybe add to this sort of thing. So thank you for watching. Uh, Hope to see you next time. I'm going to end the stream now. Well, until next time. Bye.